This week on Arizona Illustrated, a spin on advertising.
I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm here to make you some money.
Remembering Juneteenth.
Arizona has history about their African American.
The ups and downs of the BoxerBots.
You have this working robot that you built with your hands, and anything we make from our hands is just special.
And Arizona profiles of Vietnam veterans. Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNAMARA. Businesses use many means to attract potential customers. Outdoors, there are billboards, neon, even blow-up animals vie for your attention. One of the latest is the sign spinner. And while colorful and theatrical, for the spinners and their clients, spinning is serious business.
I always say the best time to hydrate for today was yesterday. This heat can kill you, so you gotta beat the heat. You can't let it beat you.
In advertising, it's really important to grab people's attention so that you can give them your message. Sign spinning is really effective for that purpose because it starts by getting your attention. Not only does it get your attention, but it then delivers whatever the message is that's actually on the sign. Sometimes the message is also part of the way the person is dressed. Not only will it grab your attention and cause your eye to pull over to see what they're doing, but you're also more likely to watch them for an extended period of time. What are they going to do next?
My name's Cody Norman. I own Cool Cat Street Level Promotions, but I'm better known as the Cool Cat. About 11 years ago, some skateboarders down in San Diego, California, they got a job holding signs. And then they started doing tricks with this sign and went, hey, this is cool. And that's how it was born.
It's really a retro idea. It harkens back to the sandwich board sign that the people used to wear with a sign on the front and back, and they'd walk up and down the street. And it's a similar format to that. Today you see mannequins out, motorized mannequins that are spinning signs and doing the same thing. Obviously there's a cost effectiveness to that it's still motion and it looks like a person, so it grabs your attention.
I love them because they prove what I do works.
I think they're both effective, but I would bet that a real person being able to jump around and throw the sign in the air is going to be more attention-grabbing than the robo-spinners would be.
You've got to create an emotion. Well, my emotion that I evoke is a smile and a thank you, and you have a great day. And I'm going to give you every ounce of me that I have, and that shows in my performance. One day I was riding down the street looking for a job, and I seen a We Buy Gold place. And I went in and I said, hey, I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm here to make you some money. And he had one of these large arrow-shaped signs, and to be honest, I had never seen sign spinning before in my life. And so I went to work, $6 an hour, $6 an hour, and I got out there and I loved it. And it's just blossomed from that.
I've noticed that several sign spinners are so theatrical that the sign itself actually gets lost in the shuffle.
The sign spinning is designed to get your attention. Once you have their attention, if you're spinning your sign, you're spinning your wheels.
It's not designed to convey a whole lot of information.
When they get the look, smile, how you doing, pointed sign, and in less than a second, I've just communicated, smile, good morning, and have a great day, and check out the specialist.
Are they effective? Do they get people to stop, pull off the road, pull in, buy something? Advertising is about impressions. And what an impression is the number of people that actually see the advertising and have it make an impression on their mind. They may not act on that sign spinner that day, but over a period of time it might build up into a meaningful impression.
The secret to sign spinning, in my opinion, guerrilla marketing, is to make you talk about me. I call it dinner table advertising. When they see the cool cat, they get home at the dinner table, they talking about that cool cat. And when they talk about the cool cat, oh, I seen him doing it for so-and-so. I seen him over at so-and-so again.
It's a form of marketing that creates buzz and viral marketing as well. And if you can do that, if you can get people to use your slogan or talk about your product in a positive way and then post it on their social media, you've won the game. It's a fad. It would be interesting to see if in 20 years there's still people standing on corners spinning signs, because we went for many years without them, and now it kind of seems like they're quite all over the place. But I bet you in 20 years it will not be as brisk as it is right now.
Most of my clients are long-term. I'm there every week at the same time, 3 hours a day. You know, right now I'm doing 5 clients this week in 8 different locations. I believe that barring injury, there is no time limit, because I truly believe that it's not all about the spin. I put a smile on my face. I forget all of my problems, no matter how insurmountable they are. The moment I step on the corner, I turn on the tunes, and you get the first smile, my frown's gone.
We checked in with Cody Norman, aka the Cool Cat, and he is still spinning on a street corner near you. Just last month, Tucsonans gathered in the Dunbar Spring neighborhood to participate in the 47th annual celebration of Juneteenth, the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States. This story is just the first of a series exploring the unique people and history of Dunbar Spring.
With the racism is hovering over America now. And if we don't identify it, if we don't call it what it is, it's just hovering. But if we don't expose the wound of racism, it's going to grow. So this is what this is about right now.
There is a distinct slave narrative that goes throughout American history. And the fact that when slaves were freed, it didn't mean that the African American population gained the level of respect and equality that they deserved. And I think we suffer from that to this day.
We are at the Dunbar Cultural Center. We're having the 47th annual Juneteenth Festival indoors this year. Juneteenth is actually the largest known celebration commemorating the freeing of the last slaves in Galveston, Texas.
1863, January the 1st, the president announced that we are free, we being the African American. Since they didn't have a smartphone and text, they didn't get the word on time. June the 19th, 1865, General Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, and said, "Rest you guys are free."
So they dropped everything they were doing and they had a big party. So hence we celebrate Juneteenth in June every year. We have all different vendors here giving out information, giving everybody little giveaways and gifts and everything, just to learn about what's going on in the community. The festival is open to everybody, and we love seeing all nationalities, all races, all ages here, having a good time and not worrying about all the other drama that's going on in the world.
The Nixon White House after that had 2 enemies.
We have the Black Film Club here today, and actually they do a film every 3rd Saturday of the month, so it just happened to fall on Juneteenth. Now they're showing the film 13th.
Trail was dirty and bloody to get me here.
We have the Buffalo Soldiers inside who have a lot of artifacts, a lot of history about the Buffalo Soldiers.
Think about that. I just happened to be 24 years in the military. Military has been my life. I light up when you mention the military. When I see a soldier in uniform, I light up. And so when I hear the Buffalo Soldier, I want to know who is this guy. When I begin to study him, I recognize he's me. And I'm a product of that soldier. Arizona has history about the African American.
In August of 1775, I've studied African American history since I was 14. And what I find interesting is the first African Americans came to Virginia about 1619. The first person of African descent came to what is now Arizona in 1538, almost 80 years prior. And some of the founding soldiers who came with Ugo O'Connor to found the city of Tucson in August 1775 were of African descent. So we have a very deep African history here in Tucson, but we don't tend to be able to celebrate as much because of the low percentage of numbers of African Americans in the community. And perhaps if there were more of us, that history would be as important here as it is for African Americans in places like Virginia.
I was born and raised in Alabama, where I was showered with the N-word. My last name was Boy, regardless of where I was old, how old I was. My parents was the N-word. We was always less than sought as a man. And so here I am in Juneteenth in Arizona. Arizona now celebrates Juneteenth as a state holiday. So I'm elated.
I grew up in the civil rights movement. I'm 70 years old. So, I integrated every school I went to from the time I was in high school on. I suffered a lot of abuses. I grew up when there were still segregated schools, segregated water fountains, segregated places to eat. So to see us make this much progress is very heartening to me. And to see other people recognize not only how much progress we've made, but how much more work we have to do, and have people involved in that work of goodwill is very, very encouraging to me.
There are many ways young people are becoming involved in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. One of those ways is through robotics, where local teens work together in teams to build their own robot designed to perform an assigned task. We tagged along with one team from the Vail School District. They are the BoxerBots.
About that when I went home and I was like, in the sunglasses.
Don't worry, guys. I upgraded. I went from a 1-pound bag of M&M to a 2.
Connor Bish, Corbin, Bryce, Alex Zhao. Awesome. The restrooms are open, so go use them.
Going on.
We will wait, but you need to be back here as soon as you can.
Wait, are we on this one?
We left for Vegas early in the morning, where we encountered our 8-hour drive.
I'm actually really okay with this.
My name is Trinity Peters, and I am the team captain of Team 1828, the BoxerBots.
Tag me in the group chat. I don't even have my phone.
I was introduced to STEM when I was 7 years old, when I saw this team up in Phoenix. I knew right then and there that I wanted to be a part of this team, and down there working on the robot, driving, and 8, 9, 10 years later, I'm here working with the team and fulfilling my dream.
Guys, stop playing around in there. It's time for the game reveal.
Be sure to support and win. Kickoff, which is a giant televised event where they introduce the new task to us.
This is stressful.
It's time to reveal the 2017.
So anxious.
Subtle hints, and then they finally give us the game, and our minds are blown.
There are human players in the middle of the field.
And then from that period on begins our 6-week build season. My name is Caitlin Feinzinger. I am on the 1828 Boxers team. I am the vice captain, and I am also the build team lead.
That rope doesn't look sound though. I'm kind of scared of that rope. We're all very excited to have this problem, have this challenge. We're going to be designing it into CAD, a 3D modeling software, From there, we're going to start building and adding electronics, programming, and hopefully testing the robot before the end of build season.
You could conceivably have 250 hours.
Yes.
So
our mentors are volunteers, so they come after their work.
That's going to take you to the next level.
And we're very grateful and very thankful to have them there and helping us out, getting parts for us, providing any help.
The ratcheting sound, all you're doing is resetting this.
It's very exciting because they know that they're the ones that get to build this. Our part is done. We've done the training in the preseason. They know how to run the machines, they know how to work the tools, they know how to program. So the next 6 weeks is all them. It's completely their baby at this point. It's their brainchild, it's their decisions, and the robot that they compete with, win or lose, is the one that they determined they wanted.
We do pride ourselves in being able to say that our robot is 100% student built. What are you trying to get the distance to?
It seems to be kind of inconsistent.
Still works.
Trinity was voted as captain. I was voted as vice captain. Kara is our secretary, and Matthias is our treasurer.
It's the smallest things.
We get each other.
Oh! Hey, chasing me now.
Yes! And with Matthias too, like he's our male leader. He inputs so much that the three of us probably wouldn't be able to think of. So it's nice to be able to have the variety of different ways people think.
I think I can feel it. I think it's this wire right here. What I really like is that we have a group of students who are mainly comprised of male, who are willing to elect female officers.
And they have to be transported, so you can't
So they're obviously having this mindset of they're not thinking about the gender, but they're thinking about what they can do for the team.
You really have to have like a bird's eye view of everything, because not only are you focusing on building a robot, but you have to understand the student, listen to them, know what's going on, making sure that everyone is okay.
We can't eat until you eat.
Throughout my life, I've been like a listener and an observer, like watching everything and listening through everyone's ideas and what's happening. Hey, how's it going? And just making the ultimate decision in the end based on what I've seen and heard.
And when we are at regionals, it's you guys that...
Being in a leadership position in high school now,
It's 15 by 13.
is preparing me to be in those leadership positions when I get the opportunity in the future.
We have until 10 o'clock tonight to have it in a bag.
I mean, I think we just labeled them here, right?
Well,
I'm just going
no,
around
because when
finding
you take
anything
that
sharp
off, like when you take that one off,
basically
you don't know
filing it
which
to
one
the
that
drum.
one is. Right now we're finishing up our robot, adding the finishing touches with electronics. Clock is ticking, we're working really hard trying to get this done really fast.
This reading is an integer.
On Bag and Tag Day, there's a worldwide time where everyone has to stop working on the robot and bag it and have it in this ginormous bag to be ready for competition.
I love being able to grab that screwdriver and screw in a bolt, and I love being able to make things with my hands. I love seeing the outcome, because at the beginning of a build season, you don't have anything. There's just this empty box that is going to have a robot in it, and then by the end of the year, you have this working robot that you built with your hands, and anything we make from our hands is just special.
22.
Would it help to enable?
See that clock behind me? That's our countdown. It says we have about 6 hours because the clock is set to Eastern time, where they have until midnight. For us, we only have until 10 o'clock.
Don't you love just doing this?
All right.
We just finished all of build, and electronics are now complete. Now the programmers take over, and we'll start seeing this robot run with code, moving through all of its different functions. Okay?
Can we turn it on?
Do it. Go for it.
No smoke yet. Great.
All lights blinking.
Radio on.
Okay.
Rubber radio.
Let's turn off the robot, and let's move it down to the floor.
Can we just move it while it's on, please?
Yep. Yep. This year we decided to name our robot Merquip. It is Elvish for mercy, so we went through a process of coming up with different names and then narrowing it down to one name. There we go, there we go. There we go. I'm really scared. Oh, I love that sound. I personally enjoy how it's exactly 2 feet tall. We have measured it.
You're sending off your baby to do what it needs to do, and you're really praying that it's gonna work. You're sitting there hoping that everything goes right and that nothing bumps into her. You're hoping that she thrives and that she's able to do what she needs to do.
It can climb by itself, but we like to be safe, and our electronics board is on the back, so we just want to make sure. So that is 50 points. That is at the end of the match. We have 30 seconds to climb that rope. Unfortunately, something is up with our pickup mechanism and does not want to pick up the balls. It is picking up the balls, but it's not doing it very well. Things happen.
And in the event that something does happen, you get that panic. And during matches, it's completely intense, especially right after coming back from a fall or something breaking. You're standing there and you're praying that everything will work.
I want to go get a Coke then?
Well, will it sit nicely with the scoop down here?
Try clicking outside of it.
We have 2 servos on our robot, one to move a camera and one to move a stopper. One of them did not seem to be working, so right now we're testing to see if it was actually the servo that was not working. Touch any metal. And we now found that it's the servo that's not working, so now we have to replace that servo probably at competition. It's definitely a setback for us. We'd have to go to competition with something not working and we won't be able to practice with it. It's hard to not get frustrated, hard not to get stressed, but I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, so we just continue. We should probably weigh the gear bucket.
It was bittersweet. It was bitter because, there's still things that we need to figure out, which means you have to do them right before competition, a day before you start your qualification matches. But it was sweet to see how far the team had come. We started with nothing, and now we have a functioning robot.
Oh no.
Done deal.
Yep. We did finish our robot on bag and tag day, which is typically not what we want to do. We want to give us 2 weeks to maybe practice and program our robot. And we definitely felt the aftermath of that. Each of our matches presented a new challenge for us to fix and overcome.
My catchphrase this year was, "Let's keep the faith," because there were times where we were just thinking, how can we come back from this?
The chain came off of our drivetrain, so we weren't able to move. Our rope broke, so our robot fell and took a couple of bent parts. We weren't able to move our robot again because of a burnt motor.
Everything went wrong.
A lot of us were upset and confused and what do we do? Do we recover? Can we recover? We were not picked for an alliance to further compete in quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. We were ranked 41 out of the 50 teams that were there. I was so proud that they kept a positive attitude throughout the whole experience. Even after we weren't picked, they were still positive and cheering and talking to other teams.
So while there was some disappointment and sadness, we were able to learn that what we did wrong can help us in the future.
Looking back on everything, what was the hardest part for you?
It's tough to have a great team and have them encounter all these problems, and we did our best, and I definitely think that, and it's hard, but I hope they consider that what we did was great and keep that positive outlook that we can do better in the future, and this is a learning experience. I just don't want them to think that their hard work has gone to waste.
Our team is a big family. We really just become really close.
You make me laugh every time I go there. Our build season, I was so happy because we got to meet with them every day, and they would play music, they would dance, they would sing, and they just entertained me so much.
Now turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
Every day I come to this, I'm living the dream. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do.
You're not only developing skills and knowledge that you need for the future, but you're also making memories that will never go away. I will never forget robotics. It's been the greatest 2 years of my life, and I'm gonna miss it.
And now, Arizona Profiles, a series of personal recollections, moving memories, and little-known Arizona stories. One day while in college, just by chance, A helicopter landed close to where Bruce Huffman was repairing his car. Well, the experience had a big impact. He was hooked. He dropped his college draft deferment and joined the U.S. Army just to fly helicopters.
Just like hunting. I was involved in an operation that I initiated that was an outgrowth of an experience that I'd had when I was 11 years old. I had a appendectomy, and the anesthetic was ether. And I woke up in the hospital throwing up through my nose, and I don't think I'll ever forget the smell of ether to this day. But one morning I was on a first light mission, and I was traveling with the sun just coming up, and suddenly, ether. Doesn't belong. Just didn't belong. So I decelerated very quickly, did a quick turn, and I caught the glimpse of on top of a knoll, a hill, a building that shouldn't have been there. It was a bamboo thatched hut. We were in an area that was known to contain North Vietnamese infantry, and I developed the situation by moving the foliage aside with the rotor wash and got my crew chief into a position where he could toss a white phosphorus grenade down to the top of the thatched hut to burn it. Well, as soon as the white phosphorus grenade exploded in the top of the thatched hut, there was a secondary explosion. I said, "Whoa, what's this?" Well, I called for that infantry platoon. We inserted the infantry platoon, and they walked into the area. They made light contact with what would have been rear echelon North Vietnamese troops, who put up a little bit of a fight. And then the infantry walked into what was a hospital complex. It was a hospital complex that was underground. Had external generators, and the ether that I smelled was deliberately put above ground so that the fumes from the ether didn't settle down into the lower elements of the tunnel and cause an explosion. So that's hunting.
What are your memories of the Vietnam War? Share your story with us by visiting our website, azpm.org/Vietnam. This September, watch for the new AZPM original documentary, Arizona and the Vietnam War, and an epic 10-part, 18-hour film series, The Vietnam War, from directors Ken Burns and Lynn Novick, in September on PBS 6. Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNAMARA. See you next week.